Ooh. I forgot about that punch. Ooh, alright, so we had Gib versus Taylor Holder, some controversy. Was it a robbery? Was the scorecards correct? I don't know if you guys knew, but Gib and I did spar. It was right before the Jake Paul fight. Knowing it was going to be a tough spar in the sense that my cardio was going to be absolutely tested. My cardio was nil at that time, 0, negative. I knew I wasn't gonna have to deal with too much power. That's the thing, Gib doesn't have a lot of power. And let me tell you something, if Gib develops power, all these YouTubers and influencers are lucky that Gib doesn't have a lot of power. Because if he did, he'd be scary because his gas tank and the way that he fights is just intense. He doesn't care about getting hit. He runs right through stuff. He just pressure. There were some things that I was hoping he was gonna do this fight and he did. Yeah, I had Gib winning the fight. I thought he was gonna win. If he just made sure he survived early. I didn't know how hard Taylor was going to hit. He's a smaller guy. He's skillful and he hits the pads hard, but he's not a bigger guy like someone like Jake. I believe Gib weighed more than him. So Taylor didn't have the weight behind his punches and the pop, as you can see. And with Gib, unless you totally outclass him, you got to knock him out or drop him. Because he's going to be in your face the entire fight. He's not going to back down. He's not going to be afraid to trade with you. He's going to throw. Let's look at the best parts here, and let's see how much Gib has improved since the Jake fight. Ooh, little tough, little bump right there from Gib. See, we see that Gib looks ready. Gib has fought already a couple times. I was talking to some of my guys, and I'm like, listen, Taylor has not fought before. He's been training, but he has not fought before, whereas Gib has been fighting a few times. He's wanting redemption, all that kind of stuff. So I figured it'd be a little bit different because I'm not sure Taylor has the experience just yet. Here we go.
Another YouTuber, Nico, he's, of course,
he put all the money on the line.
Yeah. He's voting for Gib.
Oh, so you bet on Holt.
One thing I already like, maybe I pause at this jab, but you're seeing Gib go in and out. He's not just going in and just stuffing his head in there and just cutting angles. When we sparred, maybe Joshua could find some clips. There was a lot of forward pressure, and same thing with Jake, where he would just kind of run in there and he wouldn't find his way in. He wouldn't feint or jab his way in. Sometimes he would just try to just close the gap and he would run into heavy shots. So I liked already he was pawing, going in and out, trying to find the range.
I bet on Holder, yeah. Okay.
I like Holder's high guard, right? That guard, he's keeping his hands up, he's being patient. That looks like an educated boxer to me.
Absolutely, Paige, and you're going to see Gib just rush.
I must say, Gib looks really sharp. He's super active. His head is moving at all times now. Again, he hasn't blitzed yet. He's taken a few punches, but super active. Actually looks like a pro out there.
Bringing it down to the body. Not utilized a ton tonight is those body shots. Those body shots can take your opponent's breath away.
Ooh. You know, when the odds first came out on Stat Hero, Taylor.
So far, too, Taylor looks solid. Defensively, he looks super comfortable, right? Gib's activity is not bothering him too much. He just has a high guard. His feet are moving well, right? He's not crossing his feet. Nothing bad so far. He's taking everything off the arms. He's covering pretty well.
Holder was an underdog. And then I did my #1 sports betting show in the country, The Early Edge. And we said Taylor Holder should have been the favorite. And all of a sudden...
Ooh. I forgot about that punch. That was a nice overhand. See right here, Gib loaded that thing from the ground, but he set it up well. And this is where Taylor's lack of experience kind of frees it up here. It is his first fight in the lights. Boom, grazed right off the forehead. If that thing landed temple, and if he turned his knuckles over on that hook, you know, get that thumb down for the overhand. So this way you can hit with those first 2 knuckles. Taylor could have gone to sleep. Imagine that.
Personal subscribers, the entire YouTube UK is all supporting Gib. Some of the biggest creators in the world supporting Gib.
So far, Taylor, besides that overhand, Taylor's been catching all the jabs, he's been catching the punches, but Gib is the aggressor. He's the one pushing the pace right now. So ring generalship and aggression and those things is going to work. But in boxing, in traditional boxing, effective defense is actually a part of the score as well. So you can actually get credit for defense, for making the other person miss. That matters in boxing more so than it does in MMA.
And of course TikTok.
You know, my partner Ian Parker He said that Taylor, he's been hearing through the grapevine, has been very, very calm. And we're starting to see that here in the first round. He's taken a few shots. He's come out very, very slow.
Holder looks amazing. I mean, he truly is being as patient as possible.
You can see here, Taylor is super sensitive to distance. When he threw like a hook cross, he jumped in there, but he was still super far away. And he's been, his first step is backwards, right? He's stepping back, stepping back, stepping back. So you can tell that probably the nerves are getting to him and he's being super cautious. He fought pretty cautious.
He's not letting any of those punches come through. He's going to tire Gib out. If Gib keeps being the forward aggressor like this, he could get Holder definitely. He seems like tonight.
See here, this was a good combination by Taylor, but there wasn't enough of that. He landed a good combo, but Gib has been pressuring. I don't know how many jabs he threw this round, even though it's to the body. He's thrown punches to his arm, and he caught some body punches as well, so his activity is just too high.
Let's take a look at some of that first round action.
Got a good body shot here. Made him drop his hands.
Nice little body hook. See how he's landing it and then he's exiting? He's not landing that and then falling forward and leaving himself available to be hit. That was a big difference. See right there, if you notice, let's go back to that. Taylor's throwing his punches, but he's not committing to them.
And it is who is landing the most punches. It doesn't matter necessarily if every single one of those causes damage. It's who's the aggressor.
So you see the jab and he steps back. You notice, see how he threw the cross, but he kind of pulled it. He didn't want to get his head in there, so he's throwing punches, but he's not committing and stepping all the way through.
In the white.
And Gib definitely has been the...
There was another example as well. He threw the hook too, but his feet didn't go with him, so he just stayed right there. You can see Gib's feet way more active.
Boxing stance.
I want Holder to keep his composure, but I do want him to start turning it up a little bit here.
See right there, the uppercut. Gib is so active. He's going in and out. He's moving laterally side to side. His head's moving side to side as well, and he's just throwing punches. So Taylor cannot, get a beat on him. He can't figure out his timing, and Gib's making it real hard to be caught. And especially with Taylor, this being his first fight, you can tell that he's just super off.
And here's an important thing, Coach Page.
The most amount of aggression you've seen the entire fight from Taylor was when that little punch landed after he clinched. I was interested to see him initiating the clinch so much. You would think that there's an opportunity to throw punches when Gib is close like that because he's having a hard time getting a hold of him. And he didn't throw punches. He was just clinching him when he got close. He would hold him to separate again, but he wasn't having much success on the outside. So not sure what that was about, but I think it's just because Gib is so annoying and that pressure can be difficult to deal with. So I think he was just clinching to get out of there.
Gib is in the best shape of his life. We've seen him in other fights. He's never been this good looking as far as shape. So that might be the difference.
And Taylor a little bit frustrated with a late hit, and now here come the hands.
Great combination there from Taylor. So that's the first time we saw some actual commitment.
Frustrated with a late...
So you see him shuffle forward on that hook cross, getting himself a little bit closer to break through the guard. Boom. And then again, steps forward again 2 times. Another shuffle forward to land that too, but it didn't land flush. I'm not even sure if it landed at all. Oh, and then slid away, showing some good defense, some good skills.
Right here. Now, he's not winning the fight though. That's Page's point.
Well, Gib, he gets good trainers, but he's very unorthodox.
This is the epitome of a boxer versus a brawler. Gib is brawling, and if you gotta beat a brawler, you gotta hit him. You gotta box him really well. You can't be this inactive and think that you're gonna win or the judges are not gonna be on your side.
And that's the thing, these short rounds, right? These are 2 minutes. You only have 2 minutes to capitalize. All of a sudden, 2 rounds have gone by and you're being a little bit too patient. Now you're down 2 rounds. You can't be that patient. You have to bring it to your opponent.
It almost feels like his trainers gave him this game plan, forgetting about the shorter round.
Switch later on in the...
See here, those last 2 combinations, both of them Gib had initiated with a double and I think a triple jab.
Rounds to none. Foos, what do you have?
See him start with 1 jab. Feints.
2 rounds to Gib. Gib is just much more the aggressor right now. I don't see Taylor letting his hands go, but if he's able...
Again, using his footwork instead of just forcing his way in there, sliding away out of those combinations, keeping himself safe, and looking for the right opportunities to enter. This is a big difference for Gib. Big difference for Gib.
To outlast Gib, and if Gib
There's the double jab. Double jab, work behind it to land the body shot.
tires out, we could have a switch later on in the fight.
And again, so this fight had the same story the entire time. Gib being super active, staying out of harm's way. Taylor waiting against the ropes, covering, not winning the fight. So it's clearly Gib all the way. But let's look at Gib versus me and see what he was able to do. Let's look at him, I think it was, what, a few years ago, maybe? Had to be a couple years ago against Jake. And let's compare him then and now.